World War II, fighting Nazi special forces and ancient gods and monsters.
Try that again.
And it was a big hit. And
Try that again. These are all the colors.
I gave it all up to do this because that Kickstarter did so well. And since then, we've taken on a lot of licenses. So things like we rebooted Music Chronicles, we relaunched the playing game, we did the Thunderbirds board game with Matt Leacock of Pandemic fame. We did Star Trek Adventures, the role-playing game. We've got our own role-playing system called 2D20. You roll 2 20-sided dice, not one, and you're looking for multiple successes to do cool stuff, thematic and a bit narrative. And more recently, we took on miniatures, so we got the rights to do Fallout. So I set out to make sure we have the best AI miniature system, I think we did, and it's pretty challenging. And then we got Elder Scrolls, of course, as COVID hit. So,
yeah, and that's the thing is I kind of first through the Fallout game, and I'm fairly new to arrive into this, and I would go onto the website, like a treasure trove is probably the most apt. Honestly, it's like, oh, and this, oh, that's that too, and oh, that's that too, and I'm also a big fan of Rangers and Shadow Deep, and the edition that you guys put together for that is amazing. Just the advanced cover alone is outstanding. So how did that first come about?
Well, because I think we are kind of building a name for ourselves in this sort of like solo co-op narrative wargame space, and so I had an eye on Joe McCulloch's Rangers for a little while, and I just chatted to him, going, "Look, you're on drive-through, but there's so much demand for this." And so we talked about doing a deluxe edition, updated the text and did some errata and some new content. And we're kind of following that up with some other products. So we've got another similar project in development at the moment. Hopefully it's going to come out in the next month or so. So kind of wanting to really fly the flag of adventure war games is our thing. We've even got adventurewargames.com. But it's going to be this new home of if you want to play war games, I mean, you can play more competitive, like you can play Fallout and Elder Scrolls competitively. But if you want to discover a story and play against a very clever AI, if you want to play your own games, if you want to play cooperatively, and you want the story to be more important than who wins, then that's kind of where we're at. So that's what we're trying to build, this little kind of community of games that do that, basically.
You like maybe RPG you like them?
You could argue that Rangers is kind of like a GM-less RPG on a tabletop. As soon as you're down to a few figures, Fallout is 10, 15 figures. Elder Scrolls is kind of similar number. You could just play. The great thing, you've got the dungeon delve mode with Elder Scrolls, so you could play just like we could each have a figure each, and be big heroes and tool up and go on, and not even dungeon delves, but a delve could be we all go and take on a Stormcloak camp or raid a town, whatever you want it to be, but playing solo. And I'm currently writing a big saga-style campaign where you start as a nobody and end up as a thane, So
that's awesome, man. That's really good. It gives us a really good kind of taste, a really good flavour of what you are as an entity in terms of a company moving forward, the kind of things you're looking to do. But I think it's also really important to know a little bit more about the roots of this, as we mentioned, with just simply the name. So It sounds like you mentioned that you and your friend were just chatting and up until early hours of the morning about RPGs and things. So is that how you first started getting into this hobby through RPGs? And when was that?
Yeah, I mean, I started playing D&D when I was about 8, when my mum told my brother to get me out of the house, and he and his girlfriend and some friends were playing Dungeons and Dragons. So that's kind of back in the late 70s. And then I also discovered a little hex war game called Ogre by Stuart Jackson Games in a knitting shop, as you do, and got into what at the time were kind of called fantasy games, which was a catch-all for anything like D&D or sci-fi hex and token games or whatever. And then I got into war games. I was playing like 15mm Napoleonics when I was like a 12, 13. My other brother into playing war games. And then we started playing a lot of kind of board war games. And then I was started picking up a lot of 25mm Citadel painted miniatures from bringing.
So what was the catalyst for those jumps? Because there's some big jumps there. You mentioned about the fancy D&D, but then there's a big old hop to historicals, and a big hop again. So what was motivating? What was the balance?
I think actually I started playing miniatures with Citadel first, and I was playing on my own, so I would generate kind of storylines and write up the stories. And I love playing the bare bones survivors against a vast dark army and just seeing what would happen. And I never tried to balance the games. I would just create a battle that seemed fun. And I would beg, borrow, and steal miniatures from friends. There was this company called Prince August that let you melt lead on your stove and pour them into molds. Great. Pretty, when I'm doing it like 11 years old, pretty crap looking orcs and soldiers. Yeah, it's exactly a very safe thing to get little kids to do. So I kind of fleshed out my armies with these kind of blobs, spray painted black with bits of green on them and stuff with orcs. And then, I built up this whole kind of random collection. I mean, I remember some of them being classic old miniatures, buy one or two here and there and gradually paint them very roughly.
So it's just your own motivation for storytelling and narrative and things like that?
I found actually, when I was going through the old attic, I've got the storyline and the rules of one of my early fantasy battles where the evil armies are advancing and you've got some peasants and a few knights defending the farm. And then, the good armies advancing and trying to catch up across the river. Storyline. And so I think that was my early ideas. And then I remember going to a war game show.
Do you remember seeing a plastic cylinder, plastic cup
with Coventry in the Midlands
with measurements on it?
Went to a war game show and there was all these beautiful. There was a war games club in Leamington over a pub where we play 6mm NATO battles and 28mm Napoleonics, vast games of beautifully painted figures. So I got turned on to the kind of historical stuff, seeing all these swathes of cool painted stuff. So I started picking up some minifigs, was the brand at the time, these little yellow packets of 10 figures, I think it was. Minifigs 15mm Napoleonics, because it was really cheap to buy a little army. And so I got my brother playing it, which just had like a few lines of infantry, a couple of cannons, and some horse, cavalry. And
need to get some more gloves.
I hated all the historical rules sets. It was kind of so dreary and boring and complex. So I just would write my own system. I would read a lot of Charles Featherstone and other, classic South Coast English war game writers. But kind of was always frustrated to write up my own ideas and would write a lot of kind of solo play and AI stuff. I also got just very good at playing the other side, because if you play the other side, you always win.
Yeah.
And you have perfect.
Well, do they have isopropyl alcohol there?
The other side's going to do.
99%.
We always erred on the side of the guys I liked.
Sure, the blue one.
Because they got the alcohol back on the shelves at Shoppers.
Yeah.
Were you having to batter down that wall, or was he?
I bought some Shoppers, but it was too per customer.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore. They started getting their supplies back.
As he kind of went out to college. And then the elder brother, I got him into playing Ogre. He started with that and tried that. We used to play it a lot. And then we started playing some of these other kind of hex-based war games. And he occasionally did. He ran a game of Metamorphosis Alpha with me, which I don't know if you know is basically it's by James M. Ward, who created this sort of post-apocalyptic game. If you imagine a giant colony ship that hits a swathe of radiation, pretty much all the crew die, and hundreds or even 1,000 years later, the ship's still going through the galaxy. And
I really need a bigger
so I
container
remember
to mix this
I
in.
was this is me as a young kid, I didn't really know much about game roles.
Cylinders
We were
got
playing
hair in
D&D,
it.
I was a dude in a
Hair
being
and
sent
dust
out
from the
on his
dogs.
first journey to come of age with a spear, and then I came across this giant metal wall and found something that was obviously a laser pistol, but couldn't decide. No, I didn't know how to make it work because the rules make you make various tests to figure out stuff.
It's warm.
And so then that was like, oh my god, I'm on a spaceship, and that was a fantastic game. And so I then got this love for post-apocalyptic stuff. And as a kid, I was working. My granddad had a comic book and book stall in Coventry Angel Market. So Saturdays I'd go and earn my keep. I'd come back with a shopping bag full of Spider-Man and Weird War and Sergeant Rock and Famous Four comics, etc. But also I started to pick up lots of novels. So I'd come back with like Asimov Foundation and I, Robot and Thongor Against the Gods and Conan and John Carter and all these fantastic 70s space opera in the Lensman books by E. Doc Smith and Witch World books, just mind-expanding sci-fi and space opera that really got me excited about that whole genre. So, so I was just constantly, I was having this sort of second education in the world of science fiction and fantasy. So it was brilliant.
It's great when that happens, isn't it? And I came to that very, very late. I kind of read at school and did books and books, so I wasn't really too bothered about fiction and things. When I ended up laid up in hospital, and someone just brought me a book, and I literally had nothing else to do. So I was like, I'll just start this. And then I've literally read like no word of like every day since. Every day at least an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours per day I'm reading. And it's amazing that whole.
So when we pull up to the school and then we go out front, we drive out front, we're allowed to get out of the car to see him graduate. And then we get back in the car and drive down the side. And then there's some places where I think it sounds like they've got some places set up where you can take some pictures.
And they're taking professional pictures that you can access.
Yeah.
So, and it's all those classics of
We
it's
can
great
take one that
education
or
for
whatever.
them.
Oh, for sure.
A gaming world where fantasy and sci-fi is your staple. To sort of
It was really interesting what you said a while ago now about you thought you were playing D&D, but then
Must
you
have taken 10,000 pictures of Jeffrey and Val at graduation.
And do you think that the fact that you weren't aware of this,
Gotta find the thing that was in the camera.
Something I can liken it to in my life is it's a small test that, but
Are you looking for it? I think I have it.
Oh yeah, I'd like to have it so I can print the pictures up and put up a nice graduation picture of
I
him.
have no idea about it at all. I've not watched it.
Finish off his his school pictures,
I enjoyed it. I had no idea about it. And then when I thought about it more, and I miss this now, when there was only like 4 TV channels back in the day when I was growing up, I used to just watch films. Like 10 o'clock at night or 10:30, films used to go on BBC Two or whatever. And I never knew anything about them. And some of them I still don't know the names of. Like this day, there was one of them I watched with Leo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro in, and it was about troubled upbringing and troubled home. But it was just an amazing film because I didn't choose to watch it; it was just on. So do you think you had such a great experience in that RPG because you weren't really aware of the bigger picture and you just experienced it brand new?
Well, I mean, I played a lot of D&D at the time. We were playing every week, and the only game that I actually remember was the first day I played and my character died. Because I think they were feeling sorry for me and they gave me a suit plate armor, because I was a little kid. And I in B1, the very first D&D module, was a pit trap at the end of the first corridor, and I fell through it and failed every roll the GM tried to give me to help me save. So I was so shocked. I came back as son of Brandon, and that the character name Brandon Carter I always use as whenever I create a character for a video game, and most of the time, anytime I write a role-playing game, Brandon Carter is like the sample character you get. So anytime it's like in honor of him.
It's amazing. It's just cool. It's just chatting it out. The reason why I really love podcasting is just these different but similar experiences that we all kind of have at different times throughout like a special. But it's one thing to kind of enjoy role-playing games and historical games. You mentioned you picked up 40k or something too. It's one thing to do that, but it's another thing entirely to create a business in this area. So you mentioned that you were doing something else, and then you gave that up to carry yourself.
In the 90s, I was a rave promoter. I did college, I did business, started doing events, I was running the Game Society, putting on concerts as well. I was quite involved socially, putting on events, did a massive medieval banquet. And then I came out of college and ended up working for a music agent, booking tours for the dodgy rave bands in the early 90s. And then went on to work for Universe Tribal Gathering. So we were doing like 50,000 massive raids, which were actually the first legal raid working with police. So we had like Kraftwerk, Orbital, Underworld, the KLF, anyone Chemical Brothers, the Works. We had like 50,000 people in the field with like 10 tents and everyone going nuts till 9 in the morning the next day. So, and then we were doing like the first techno clubs in London, and I was booking tours, and I had a brief stint working for a TV company doing kind of development, because we did a lot of work developing me and my friend who we were sitting up late night creating worlds. We helped them create a science fiction universe and a comic book universe that never saw the light of day, but it was good progress. And then did it for another company, so we were like, oh, maybe we should do more of this. And I left the race to start a PR company doing internet PR. This is literally like, 1999, like email had only been around for a few years, so there was all these kind of fledgling blogs and websites that were about video games launches and new stuff coming. So we started doing some of the first PR to all of those for video games companies. So we were there when Half-Life launched, and lots of other games. We were doing like viral marketing and stuff, and doing cool, like just mad ideas.
That's another really cherished memory that I have is the opening credits, so to speak, of Half-Life. Where you jump on the little monorail, like the monorail, and kind of going through that. That's another really great experience from there. And just before you carry on with the time,
I'll tell you what, I think what it is, it's like I vividly remember going to see Star Wars because of the opening scene. Because before Star Wars, there was nothing like that at all. Like now, you've seen it all before. You've seen the huge special effects. It's very hard to go away. But as a kid, when I went to see Star Wars, you've got Star Trek on the screen, which was cool effects, but it wasn't hardcore action. You'd had something like 2001, which was like, God, like watching paint dry. Amazing effects, but really slow. And then bang, you've got basically Britain in the future in front of your face, looking amazing. And it's like that's the first night I played D&D, the first time I did that Metamorphosis out again, where I was like, oh my God, I'm in a spaceship. The first time I went to see Star Wars. It's those first, when you experience something new and mind-blowing for the first time, that stay with you. It's just incredible. So,
it's really interesting that you said about all these great things that you've done. Like, I'd love to just have a podcast just talking to you about the whole race and the stories that are behind that. I'd love to marketing another time maybe. But were you playing games throughout the entire time, or did you set it aside and only
when I was doing the raves, this is my friend Stuart, we'd meet up Saturdays, and he was a big 40k player with amazing collections. I was so jealous. It always put me off playing because I knew I'd never have miniatures that good. I couldn't afford to buy painted ones. Sorry. So we would play, but again, we'd make up our own rules. So we rewrote the Epic 40k rules so that we could have his entire collection on this, must have been 8 by 6 foot tables, vast gaming table. We just wanted to have enormous battles and play them in a long day. And we would do big 40k games, and we got all the Star Wars West End metal miniatures, and again, we wrote the rules to be able to play big battles and made our own vehicles. And we just constantly, so we'd constantly doing that. And then I had a period where I was doing club nights every Friday and Saturday night, so there's just no way to meet up at weekends. And we were working till 9 in the morning every day, so it just wipes out the week. And so I wasn't playing much then, and then came back to it a few years later, and I was quite surprised that the role-playing games hadn't changed, that there were still these impenetrable books of black and white text and walls of text and occasional bits of OKR. And this is me coming from the club scene, right? So I was in charge of doing all the flyers and marketing materials, and we were really leading the way in club design. One year we did a flyer for Travel Gathering that was just basically grass. Everyone else was doing like all these mad 3D, graphics and grass. So we had the whole flyer was just shot against grass and then cows in the field and bits of wood and stuff. It was totally mental and totally different. So we really, and then the next year we made it look like 2000 AD. and I won the 2000 AD artist. And so I was like, God, why can't games be better? And then that really stuck with me. And then so I had a PR company, and I started doing another company, Joystick Junkies. We were doing like video games club PR company, and we did a role-playing game called Starblazer Adventure with my friend again, Stuart, and we based this. We got the rights to some old comics by DT Comics in Scotland called Starblazer, which is kind of pre-2000 AD style sci-fi art. We did a whole role-playing game based on that, the Cubicle 7, some friends of mine at the time, and
what was the motivation? Was it just this desire to see it better, or what? Was it a business direction?
We wanted to see it better. It had fantastic artwork, beautiful colour covers in that kind of Chris Foss sci-fi vein, and 380 odd issues of comic book artwork to draw. It was insane going through, pulling out art. And so, I said, oh, this is a great opportunity for a role-playing game. And they said, sure, why don't you write it? So we ended up doing it, and it was a lot of work, and I never thought I'd do it again. And so when Kickstarter came along, that's when I thought, oh, maybe I'll give this a try. And I'd come up with this World War II Cthulhu universe, and I got married, and we were thinking about different things to do. And I thought, well, maybe this might, pay me to do a day a week at home, and spend more time together, and maybe pay for a holiday. And I never thought it would be so big, but the Kickstarter was a crazy, massive hit. And if it hadn't been for Kickstarter, I probably wouldn't have done it, because I knew there was very little money in tabletop games. I mean, it's the classic joke is how to make a fortune. You start with a bigger fortune.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why I'm so interested in this industry at large and doing a podcast on it, because it's just the stories are so interesting. I think it's easy if you talk about hedge fund managers or things like that. It's easy to maybe understand their motivations to a certain extent, because they're likely to be monetary in nature. And don't get me wrong, there is, you are able to draw a living from this industry, but it's just so interesting, just the different ways that people go into it and different ways that people approach the whole thing. So you mentioned it was Acton Cthulhu. So it seems like you've kind of got two things that you've enjoyed, and you kind of shoving them together a little bit. Is that very much how it is, or is it more complicated?
Yeah, I mean, I always thought the reason I'm doing it is because I was doing other businesses, like, I was doing clothing. That was a big business for 13 years, but I never loved clothing. It was about video games, and it was fun and cool. And before that, I was doing parties and events and stuff. But you can't you can't sustain that kind of lifestyle. You know, you just can't keep working till 9 in the morning every week.
Hi,
and
Monica.
every night. It's, you know,
I am trying to make
it's not a life. So I
some
always love
Pride
keychains.
keychains. That's what I'm doing.
My wife, who, you know, she's my business
That's
partner
what I'm doing.
as well.
Had a long drive to
You know, she
Halifax
really
today. I'm
encouraged
going
me
back.
to do what I want, you know, do what I loved. And you know, when we set our mind to it, you know, we worked as a team together in a little basement flat, and you know, from just the two of us, 8 years later.
So crystal molds and
38
keychains
people and probably about 100
make some more.
freelancers and all
I
these
can't
big
this
projects. And it just shows if you really follow your heart and do what you love, the money will come.
It just keeps twisting around in a freaking circle. I can't get it off.
I used to road manage a guy called David Grant.
There we go.
Pops in the
Orange.
80s. And when I first started, I remember him saying to me, Chris, there's probably 6 jobs you can do really well, and there's only one that you'll starve for. And that's the job you've got to do, because that's the job that will make you the happiest when it
Sorry, I
and the
wasn't
money
even paying attention.
come eventually, because if you're doing what you love, you'll do it really well, and if you're successful, then everything else follows. So I always find that like, no, that's what I want to do, that's what I care about. And weirdly, all the different jobs I did up until Diffus kind of gave me different experience, like, you know, travel gathering was marketing and promotion and design and thinking beyond the box, thinking beyond what the market
Sorry, I
might want.
missed you, Monica.
Joystick Junkies was about production and insane
I'll look up a little bit more
production
often.
schedules and making stuff around the world. And the PR company was PR and marketing. So there's all sorts of stuff all help contribute to this point. So the journey was
Made an awful
worthwhile.
lot.
But really, when I actually started doing the thing I really loved, that things really worked out. And
It's really,
you know,
yeah, it's right, and that brings through, right? You know, it's a really, really sound advice. And
Hey,
sound
how's it going?
You know, you should be listening to. You should be involved. One thing I do
No, thank you. Not for me.
You and your wife, you know, in a basement flat and working your way up. There's a thing that I kind of like. I like theories and things like that. And one of the things I've been researching recently is when things grow and develop and you add more people. And there's a theory called the Ringleman effect, which is basically when a team gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the level of effort or the level of buy-in or the level of commitment may be kind of dilute a little bit.
What's that, Jeff? You did. I heard you making it.
You know, so did you have
Can you bring me mine?
You know, if you don't mind me asking,
You can find it.
how did you kind of keep that core ethos and love and
Find
passion
it.
whilst also expanding?
I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just pouring ink and stuff in. This is what happens when I don't have a plan.
Good. I mean,
Don't have a
the
plan.
goal is you should always hire people that are
I know,
best
I
at
need a
it.
new
It's not
keychain
always
because
easy,
my
especially in
cool
tabletop
keychain
games,
got
because
broken.
pool is limited.
Lost.
You know, an accounts person
Yesterday.
plays no games, but a product manager,
So
you know, small working development needs to know
before she
what
had her
games
meal,
are. You know, you can't bring in
and I put her into
so
sleeper, you can change her again.
yeah, there's always growing pains.
Never
Like,
hurts.
you know, when we were 10, 15, 20 people, it's much easier, but the, you know, the admin side of the business, you know, the payroll side, the accounts, the customer service just scales up and up. And you've got 2 people in customer service now. And, you know, you get to a point, certainly with 36, and actually some very
Hoping that this stuff will
freelancers
just
who work
sort
very
of
well with
sink
us
in.
would kind of an active body of 40 plus people. So it's it is hard to run. We've just actually restructured it. So it used to be that we had a war games team and a board game team, a role playing team, and now we've just got a product team and a creative team who handle all the art and 3D sculpts and painting and everything. So we've kind of done this sort of like 90-degree shift as a business, is kind of what most companies tend to do when you get
Somebody took it.
to 50 people, and you know, we're restructuring to make it easier to manage. And COVID is also interesting because it's made us wonder whether we really
There's
need
some
much
in the
office
diaper
space.
bag, and there's a box of them in her bedroom.
You know, it's changing the way we think about the world, certainly.
Yeah, I'm gonna mix this stuff up. I've got too much in that one. This is gonna turn out like that. It'll be interesting.
So it seems like miniatures and the creation of and the development of it has come
It will be
into
interesting.
a lot more. And I saw the plastic sprues with
Oh.
the call to arms miniatures. So
I don't want to mix the colors up too
so
much,
how different a challenge
but I
is
want
that?
them to
Well, going to hard
alcohol needs
plastic,
to be
is a really difficult process. We
underneath, inside the
bounced
resin.
around,
on top
umming and
of it.
ahhing because we're really good at resin, but we
Oh,
knew that we had to have a
my
crack at
God,
hard
this is
plastic,
fun.
and we tried it with one factory and they just weren't getting miniatures right. We were like, God, we can't
Love
get
it.
this wrong first
Alright.
time. It's got to be good.
I need,
And so we ended up
to-
with a company that's done a lot of work
So
on
that one's
on
too full.
War Machine and
Can't just suck some of it up and put it in that one.
plastics, and they just got
We
it.
need some more in
They
this
had
one.
to do a bit of work on the sculpts, the sculpt files to prepare them for
There
hard
we go.
plastic, and the changes they came out with were perfect. So we really tried to save money, and so we, bit of work and run with the first three sets of hard plastic, and the rest of the sets were in resin with much time characters.
Oh,
We are
wait,
having some
what's that?
sets later on.
Now I'm going to
Brown scrolls. We were going to do them sooner, but with World
them
Events,
over here.
spreading out the launches a lot more product releases.
I
so
am an
retail can
organized
catch up.
mess. That's what I
And,
am.
we can take our time when we commit to plastics.
Organized
To do
mess.
plastics,
Oh my
you're
God.
paying about 10 grand for a tool up
All
front,
right.
$10,000.
This
And
over
you
here.
really got to be doing
These ones are
10,000
really cool.
units to
I
pay
should
for
see
it,
them.
to
I'll
make
take
it
some pictures
worthwhile.
and put
Once you go beyond
as a
that, you're making
thumbnail.
better
And
money,
tomorrow
and you
night
can,
I'll
it's meant we can charge a lower
take them
price
out, show you.
for the hard plastic sets. But
yeah.
obviously you need
So
to
I'm gonna
see what
do
different
some
places now, probably
some more of these
less
because I
so much
really,
in
really
distribution
like
as
them.
you might have done
I
3
don't
months
think I
ago.
need to be too worried
So,
about the stuff that's already on there because it's going to be, I'm just going to put the clear in and then I'm going to add
set
ink
and the box that you need to
to
start
them.
the game is miniatures agnostic.
Kind
It's
of
faction agnostic, right?
cool
You don't
designs
get
I
a
can
start
get.
set which has got 2 set factions in. So was that a very
That's
deliberate
not
decision?
right
How did
there.
that come about?
So we were thinking about
No,
doing
baby
this
girl.
but then it really pushes the price up, and so we actually really wanted to keep it a really low entry point for people. And so basically, you buy that box, and you've got some Warhammer miniatures, or Age of Sigmar, or Lord of the Rings stuff, or whatever lying around. You can try the game out with that box. So you're only paying like $45 to get it and to play the game.
Still
So
doesn't seem
it
like it's
keeps
sitting
it
flat.
really affordable for most people. You don't have to lay out a load. And then if you
Over there.
like that, or you could just buy the Fleetwood Barrow miniature set, which I believe is $35. And that gets you the Dragonborn and a bunch of Draugrs. So then you could play your solo games with them.
Okay.
And the box includes the cards for the first 3 boxes of miniatures. So your Stormcloak set, the Imperial
that's way
set,
too
and
much.
the Draugr and Dragonborn.
Too
So you've got all the cards, you've got everything you need.
Yeah,
You don't
that's cool.
actually need the miniatures. So
Purple.
the flip side is if
No,
you're
this
a
is blue.
miniatures collector and
Sky
you just
blue.
want the miniatures, you don't want all the rules, you can just go, I really fancy, building some Imperial figures and having them on my desk, on my collection. So it did make it more accessible. Of course, there's always something like, but I want to get it all together and it's really expensive. We was just trying to make it, easier for people to get into the game, especially now. People don't have as much money as they might have done before. So
Yeah, I think I speak to Joe quite a lot. We're very fortunate to have him as a friend, and we had this conversation on a podcast which he's due for release in a couple of weeks, and we talk about them not necessarily needing everything. Sometimes that's okay. If you're gonna buy a car, you don't go and buy the wheels when the engine next week. You don't need the car straight away, right? Whereas a miniature game, part of the charm that maybe goes back to when we were kids and we didn't have enough money to get all the things we wanted all the time. You have to wait for Christmas or wait till your pocket money or wait till things. It's like this idea of buying a small bit and adding and adding and adding. There's a certain charm to that, but also it's more logical. Because sometimes I'm sure we've all done this. When you go out and buy a game that you like for a lot of money, and you get the add-on, you get this, that, and that, because you make a better deal, you can do yourself that way. Then actually you might not like it. So I really like this approach that's been made. You can just
thing is that I could get the rules box and the Imperials, and you could get the rules box and the Stormcloaks. So again, that keeps the price down as well, and we can build the forces like that. And it means that in a couple of ways' time, let's say the Dwemer are out and the Dark Brotherhood and the Foulman, you might go, actually, I really fancy a Dwemer force. I'll buy the rules box and the card pack that goes with that. So, you're not forced to get this big box set with a load of Imperials and Stormcloaks that you didn't want. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think it leads, it kind of opens the door up to people just putting up the miniatures and hopefully enjoying the game, playing the game, but you don't actually have to. So if you're talking to someone that plays D&D or someone that plays different RPG games, they might just really like the Draugr, as you mentioned, and just pick those up and use them in X amount of games that they're playing background. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's always been the point, to give it flexibility. And it's hard bringing in a new miniatures game into the market. So many great games out there. And again, the reason why we've gone for this whole solo co-op angle is that if you want a competitive game, the big boys are when most people are going to go. So we can offer this point of difference because if you're an Irish fan, you're going to love it, right? Hopefully. You're going to love miniatures. Hopefully. We can really get things done, so we can really check it out. And then, the goal is that if you like playing solo, which a lot of people have to now, or you want to play co-op with your friends, then this is where that's going to get that fit. And then the campaign that we're working on next, is basically where you start off as a guard, you're a caravan guard, and you get given a job to escort this woman to a village, and you turn up there, the village is burning, she runs off screen in someone's name, and you're like, oh god. So you join in the fight trying to defend this village against an enemy, which the enemy is whatever you've got. If you've got Stormcloaks, if you've got Imperials, whatever you want it to be. And it turns out that she'll back in the middle of battle and says she's in there, and you're like, who's in there? Like, your sister. So your sister's dead in this burning house, and if you go to find her during the battle, you'll gain an extra black dice in the battle, which gives you more damage because you're enraged, but with the -2 to hit, so it's because you're just swinging your weapon around like crazy. Classic movie scene. So trying to build the story into the rules a bit, I feel that narrative, but now you're attached to this settlement, and so you have these sort of campaign missions that you're rebuilding the village, you're going off on dungeon delves to get money, victory points to spend on the village to defences. There's a chance the village gets attacked whilst you're away, so you might want to leave some of your crew there to help defend it, and then you might have to play out defensive battle. So it's this whole kind of like story that unfolds as you learn what happened to your family. Why is your sister here? Because you don't know what happened to your family. They just died when you were young, and this sort of mad secret storyline, this whole quest line unfolds for you. So it's basically kind of taking you back into the world of Skyrim.
It's awesome. It's amazing, and I came to tabletop gaming as an adult. And before I did tabletop gaming, I tried playing video games a little bit more. Something like I was playing with kids. I was like, I need a new hobby. Let's play video games, and I had a great experience with that. But it just wasn't social enough for me. And so having these opportunities to do campaigns, to develop narrative, but it's more like a social co-op thing. It's something that really, really does interest me. And don't get me wrong, I do like competitive tabletop games, but I just find that it's the Rangers Shadow Deep, the Call to Arms, Elder Scrolls that you mentioned there, the Fallout game, they just kind of sing to me a lot more. And for me personally, as an individual, I find that it just gives me more opportunity to have a nice time instead of maybe a situation that maybe puts me at odds with somebody else, and maybe either of those
rewards had long narrow canvases.
Yeah.
That two people go to play a game and one goes
Maybe that size, 12 by 12.
Okay.
Probably said that about most
Deep ones.
versus games, but Yeah, I just like the idea. I love the idea
That'd
of,
be
of
nice.
the shared experience. You can just see how popular co-op board games are. That it was inevitable that the co-op experience would come to miniatures games.
It's a
And
hard time
I
around
love
here
trying
getting
stuff,
canvases and stuff
you know, and
because
when I first did it, everyone was like,
everything
no, you can't,
ships in from
do it.
China.
It's like crazy.
the
What are you
problem.
doing? It's like so much
Baby
stuff.
Shark.
It's like solo
Baby
miniatures
Shark.
games now, and people trying to crack that. And the AI we've got will pursue the mission. You can just try and stop the AI fulfilling the mission objective, which is very hard. Most games with AI for miniatures just move them towards the nearest of your figures and attack it, and that's it. Or shoot it from cover. It's rare that you get an AI that will try and fulfill the scenario, and you're just along for the ride. So it's I really wanted to fill that gap, and we can do competitive, and it's the whole challenge of organised play, which again is a new world and is going to be different. But we were trying to figure out how to make an organised play event in a store that is fun for everyone as a narrative cooperative event. So people are used to competitive events, encourage people to buy miniatures and do this and do that. And everyone was like, no, it's not going to work, and it's crazy. It's like, well, just I remember reading this Andre Norton book, right? This is a great example of this guy that he's married to a witch, and they're in this community, and then for whatever reason, the East doesn't exist. And no one ever goes east. They kind of go roundabout route to go south or north. But they never go east. East is blank from their mind. It turns out that the witches blanked east from their minds, because over the mountains is this sort of place they came from that's full of monsters and terror and screaming and everything. And so they forced everyone to forget East exists. And so I've got this bugbear that, like, if someone says you can't do it, I want to do it, it's got to away. And it's like let's make a game, a war game, so cool that you don't want to win it, that discovering on your story, and so you don't care about the winning the game, just scoring the points. It's a different experience, and I reckon if we can crack that, and we're getting there, it's not perfect, but if we can just make that work, I think it's just a whole new field of wargaming, which is
that's great, and I think it really lends itself to the Elder Scrolls. I can't remember which Elder Scrolls game it was. I remember spending 4 hours on a Sunday just looking for nerd groups, and I was like, why am I doing this? But it was fun. I lost myself in looking at this flat, and I'm not really bothered about the end game or the main.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing Dawn Guard one at the moment, and I can't remember the girl that you rescue who's a vampire. He's like, she's waiting for you at the
we see it with the brake light.
boat
We'll
to
see
go
better
to
tomorrow when it comes out of the
family
mall.
mansion to find something, another Elder Scroll. And I'm like, you've got to get rid of
Sitting on
your
the
followers. I've got Mjolnir. And it's plenty to do, and even just running around bumping into people is fun. So yeah, it's getting that across. I mean, it's all very easy in war games. It does it all for you, but in a video game. But getting that experience into a war game. Okay, I bought my force. I want to fight them, but we joke about the frog in the well in the office, and there's a battle, but there's a frog in the well over here. So if you rescue the frog in the well, then it's like. How do you make it not just a frog in the well? How do you make it so
That was all the resin I
the
mixed up.
story has a mechanical effect? Because everyone goes, the perception, a bit like multimedia.
Too bad, Jeff.
Multimedia was going to save the world. It's all this amazing
I
stuff.
know, right? Because now I'm going to come
Multimedia
over and I'm going to
I've
get the
got
second
a
remote.
story I've got the film on a disc, and you can select the next scene, or I've got it in a book form or in an audio form. It's just so silly. People love that code. So
Oh my gosh! There's no cells, but I put gold paper in.
There's a story.
Really pity.
A lot of war games are
They got the
this narrative, but all it is the reason you're fighting this battle is
I use alcohol with the pride colors because it's Pride Month.
and so you've just got to kill them all, or you've got to get to the other side of the field because that will mean this happens. It's like, well, that's not really narrative. It's like what you know,
Every
I want
day should be
narrative
5
to
months.
impact the rules because war games like rules. They like things to be like, you can't just make something up. There needs to be a rule that if I do X, Y
See, this
happens,
is where
or
I get
this.
into trouble.
So how
I'm
to
having
build
fun and I
narrative
don't
into
want to
rules in
stop.
such a way that yeah, maybe I won't just kill all your guys because if I go over here and dig through the ruins,
So-
I'll have to have some of my guys holding a few on me. If I dig through the ruins, I find out what happened to my parents, and that next game I get to do
There,
the rest of my quest.
my garbage made in 2 bags of
So I
recycling
could
down
just go
there.
and take you on and
So I'm
win
just
back, and then I get
tip it
points.
over like
It's
this.
well, no, maybe not. And
There's
that's
the
making those interesting
place, or
decisions,
the
I think.
puzzle
And if
coasters.
I find out what
That's
happened
another
to my
coaster right
parents,
there, but you'll see it
that's
better
gonna give me
tomorrow.
this benefit
And then the
of
keychains,
this
and they're
sword
all
gives
got the
me
pride colors in them,
bonus to fighting,
except
you
for
know.
the big.
So it's all this.
And then I did the
decisions to make
geodes as
that,
well,
that
crystals,
how can we
because
make that
I
experience
want to do
different?
a
Because
pride
other people do
geode.
competitive things so well.
So
There's no
I
point
put
competing.
gold
You know,
in,
people
and just
go, oh, yeah,
gold
we
is
can
not
win,
one
and
of the
Games
pride
Workshop
colors,
is like,
but
good luck.
I like gold.
Well,
And since
they're
I'm
so
making
good
it,
at what they do. You know,
I
it's
put it in.
they're great. You know, people
Um,
love Games Workshop again, and it's no
Yeah,
point trying to
so
do
that's that.
But there's so much more you can do, and it's if anything, it's a cop-out game. You
Peace
can make a
out.
competitive game. It's like great, you know, so you're not
Peace
really
out.
having anything different.
See you all again.
That's fine if that's what you're happy. Creatively, I like to push myself and go, the reason I'm doing this is to be creative. So let's set a ridiculous, impossible target and see if we can get halfway there.
This is,
and we'll have fun along the way
labs.
because who doesn't
So
like coming up with
It's
bad
really
game
important
ideas
not
and
to
rules?
rub your fingers together when you're putting it on. And actually, I should have my gloves on. I took them off too soon, and I needed to add
What I want to say first
more
and foremost is just 2 things. Is one is, you know, having been fairly new to the Diffius and just looking for your website, it's like a tapas restaurant. I look and I'm like, oh, I want a little bit of that. Oh, what's this over here? And oh, I want a little bit of this. So if you've not looked at the Diffius website before, guys, go and have a look. It's really, really interesting. There's a massive variety of different things for a varied amount of age groups as well. You know, you've got Kung Fu Panda on there, board game Thunderbirds. There's a wide offering. Lots of exciting and interesting.
and lay it on top, and hopefully it won't all sink down.
And it's like,
You'll be able to see it still.
Just thanks for like doing all of this. It's like it's interesting.
I got myself a nice new
And hearing
keychain.
about it and your passion in detail.
I made pride keychains.
Thank you for all
How's that?
We'll have a
And
chat
I'm going
another
to put
time
one
then.
on your keys too,
All right, mate, we'll take it easy. Thanks for it.
and it'll float because the resin floats. Next time, I think I'll just use a little stone or something. Stick it in my hand.
So there you go, episode 172 all wrapped up there.
Wrapped there.
Yes.
All right, I'm really going now.
Ollie,
Goodbye.
giving me a different intro in terms of